What the fuck do I do after the personal confrontation? Now, after you confront yourself, you've now created the opportunity to recreate yourself in a better version. So, the purpose of the personal confrontation is to confront who the fuck you are. Because too many people exist as an individual they don't want to be, and they did not intentionally choose to create that individual. They are simply the stacked overlay of society's perception, the accumulation of perceptions layered onto their awareness, and so they exist within a state of echoing voices, and the voice is not their true authentic voice, but simply the void of echoes stemming from their mother, their father, their friends. The voices they hear which navigate them to the same places and spaces they don't want to be, to create the individual they didn't mean to create by being a reactionary primate instead of an actual fucking human. And so after you personally confront yourself, you now have separated your identity from who you are. So instead of being stuck together, you're now malleable and ready for construction. And so the moment you confront yourself, you now have the opportunity to recreate yourself intentionally. And so instead of being the stacked overlay of perceptions that you have accumulated throughout your existence, reacting to life, instead of hearing mother's voice echoing as your own within your mind, instead of hearing your teachers, whoever the fuck had influence of you during your lifetime, you now can confront yourself and intentionally set the fuck up who you want to be. Most people don't admire who the fuck they see in the mirror. Most people deviate to the vices to escape who the fuck they are. And the reason they do this is because they are trapped within an individual that they don't want to be. And so they try to escape and void the unavoidable. But the moment you confront yourself, you now separate who you are from who you've been. And the moment you do that, you can now recreate yourself. I want you guys to pull out a notebook. Who the fuck are you going to be? Who the fuck are you? What are your dominant personality traits? Go into detail of who the fuck you're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. What the fuck do you have? How the fuck do you act? How the fuck do you walk? How the fuck do you talk? What the fuck do you do on a daily to create this individual? If you want to be the best version of you, well, you need to back that shit the fuck up with the way you conduct yourself. This means that the old habits that you used to indulge in, they have to fade away, and these need to be dropped, and then you need to evolve into something more. You can no longer pick up the vape because that's old identity. What you're doing is breaking the shell and evolving into a more of a fucking animal. You guys are stuck in this fucking egg. You guys are stuck in this fucking shell, and you don't even want to be in it. So what we're doing is we're cracking it, and now we're evolving beyond the infantile stage of consciousness. We are no longer going to accept who the fuck society has told us to be, but we're going to open a fucking notebook. We're going to envision ourselves, and we're going to become who the fuck we want to be intentionally. And so when you walk into the grocery store and you see this pussy who's fat as shit, dresses like a bitch, well, in the deepest layer of his soul, that's not what the fuck he intended to be. That is simply the byproduct of listening to every voice but your own. And so what you have to understand is that deep within you, you have an intuitive direction. And so the individual that you want to be most, if that's, a cool version of you, whether that's a silent but get hella shit done version of you, whether that's whatever the fuck you want to be, well, you have to intend and set that in motion. And so the moment you confront yourself, now you have a separation between who you are and who you've been. Instead of this shell of what you've been, you now pull out the essence out of that shell, and you can now malleably create an individual that you want to be and set an intention to become that individual. And so the steps after the personal confrontation is intention and the action. You intend to create the individual, you open the fucking notebook, and you say who the fuck you're gonna become. Then you write down the actions that is needed and the actions that are not needed, because if you're a fucking addict, how the fuck are you going to be the best version of yourself? if you are purposeless and you need to avoid the fact you are purposeless, and so you deviate to the vices and substances, when you deviate to the Pornhub, what you're telling yourself is, I'm too weak to become who the fuck I want to be. Stay in this fucking shell and never escape. Remain that bitch until you fucking die. And so you have to understand that the voice, the authentic voice in your mind, is the voice that's going to tell you to recreate yourself, to overcome the temptations of that former identity. You have to understand that you are literally going against yourself. It's you versus you. And you're either going to lose to this fucking societally programmed bot, or you're actually going to set the intention to become who the fuck you want to be. And what the fuck you're going to do is back that shit up by your fucking conduct. And so you have to understand that, you know, your identity will evolve. And so just like how your society programmed bitch consciousness has evolved over time, the moment you set that intention to become the most authentic, auspicious, best version of you, and you set that emotion and you back that shit the fuck up through action, the same way this character will evolve. It'll start with you quitting the Pornhub. It'll start with you quitting the secret addictions, whatever the fuck you do on the side, which is fucking embarrassing. The moment you overcome that, you no longer have anything dragging you down. So when you're done with that, now you begin the workout, the jogging, the early wake-ups. Now you begin backing up who the fuck you're going to become through time, and you're doing this every day. And so you're stacking your wins, because the best version of you is a fucking winner. And so when you stack the win, all you're doing is telling yourself, this is who the fuck I am. 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 And 2 years passed, you are no longer just doing the 3 a.m. wake-ups. You're no longer just doing the early morning jogs, the daily workout, the book reading, the, you know, self-improvement seeking on the internet. You're no longer, you've evolved past this. And so this is now the standard. And so every day you continue to habits, you continue to water your plant, but now you begin to actually sprout. And so first it began with breaking the shell you were stuck in. Then it was planting the new seed of who you're going to become, watering it by backing it the fuck up with action. When you back it the fuck up, well, now it's going to begin to sprout. And as you continue to realize who you are and continue to evolve into the version you have intentionally created for yourself, you'll realize that you'll naturally have an inclination to gravitate towards things that are going to fulfill you. Most people in this false fucking identity, their existence is a tension, a friction, a resistance, and they repeat this cycle of staying in it their entire fucking life. And so when they look in the mirror and they see that they're Big Fat Joe, nobody fucking takes them serious. It's a fucking embarrassment to see you. It's an embarrassment to be you. And here you are suppressing your embarrassment. That individual is living with so much fucking friction. It's unbelievable. When we dissect and have to really look within the depth of your soul, the friction is so much that you have now suppressed and directed it below your conscious awareness just so you can avoid the unavoidable. But again, when you look in that fucking mirror, the disappointment is there. And so what we have to understand is you will naturally gravitate to the things that will fulfill you. But first, you need to open the fucking notebook and you need to set the intention and back that shit the fuck up with action. Now, on my website, there's a blueprint on the first fucking stage of development. You guys need to catch the fuck up. If you're not moving with any fucking urgency, you will die a bitch, because time is limited. And if you're not valuing your time like with urgency, well, it's gonna fucking show, because you cannot lie through time. You have to understand that where you invest your time, well, the consequences of is gonna be, and time cannot be lied through, because what you put your time and energy into is going to be undeniably sequencing through your existence as a subsequent to what you've invested your time and energy into. And so you have to understand that if you waste your fucking time, well, it's going to be undeniable. It's going to be a fucking fermented fact in your existence that you wasted your fucking time. And so you need to be operating with urgency and scarcity when it comes to time and energy. And you need to be operating with such an intention that if you don't get this shit done, well, you're going to die a bitch. And if that's not going to inflame you enough to get you going, well, you're simply just a fucking lost cause. It's sadly to say there's no fucking hope for you. You are going to die this bitch, and the voices of shame is going to echo within your consciousness as you sequence yourself through a life you hate, a character you didn't want to be, and, well, you're going to have to endure that shit, and it's going to be fucking hell. And so you have to understand that you are the causation of your existence. And so everything in your life is stemming from you because you are the source of life experiencing itself. You are life, you're not in life. Get that fucking straight. You are life, you're not in life. You're not separate from fucking life. You are life. And so what you have to understand is that you need to become the individual to be the causation of a better life. And this begins with the character, because if you're the causation of your life, well, to spring forth a better life, you need to spring forth a better character. And so after the personal confrontation is the personal development. And you begin developing your character by creating a distinguishable character that reflects the highest version of you, setting the intention and backing that shit the fuck up with action. And if you refuse to abide and adhere to what the fuck you need to become through time, you will live an existence as a putrid bitch you don't want to be. And you will go through time decreasing as you use everything to escape the unavoidable, and you will deviate to a path you don't want to be on because you're a fucking peon. And so every day you have the choice to wake up and say, you know what, today is the day. And time is fucking limited. So let me act with some fucking urgency and scarcity. So when the next 5 years of my life go by, I won't be the same fucking bitch. I'll actually make a lot of fucking progress. You have to understand that every day you make progress. So are you making progress backwards or forward? Most of you guys are moving fucking backwards, proliferating in inversion towards the fucking trash can to die a bitch. And so the power is within the choice. And so the choice begins by taking action now. So take the action, get the shit done, and evolve beyond the fucking stage of needing to confront and bash the pussy in the mirror. Begin constructing the individual that makes you proudest. When you wake up, you hit that wake up, and you hit that workout, and you choose to move through life with some fucking movement, some fucking momentum, and some fucking power, instead of this floundering fucking bitch ass pussy stuck in the same position, stagnating, decreasing through time, decaying, using every substance in the fucking book, using every fucking distraction possible to hopefully avoid and void the fact that one's life is purposeless as fuck. Peace!